And draw the inhale and the exhale as we start to lengthen the breath. And then we're going to take our hands gently together and we're going to press the fingers gently together and press the palms of the hands gently together. Draw up a little. We're going to work with the breath here. And we're going to inhale as we open the arms wide and up. So inhaling and lifting. You can draw the gaze up if you wish. And exhaling as we touch the fingertips together, the palms of the hands together, and draw all the way back down. And imagine you're in really sticky treacle and that you've got that real feeling of resistance. And exhaling all the way down. And just again, inhaling. Finding that resistance in the movement. Really being quite mindful about alignment. And then we're going to take your right hand down to the mat and stretch. Now I'm just going to warn you that I am mirroring, and that's probably just useless because you're sat there and you're sat there. So I'm just going to use my right hand and call right hand. So if you're looking at me, you're going to be opposite me. Otherwise I'm going to get you in a right muddle. So take your right hand down and you can even bend a little into the elbow. Inhale, lift, keeping that chest open, just drawing across. And bring some organic movement into this. I was talking about this last night. If it feels right for you, moving in a certain way, move. Inhale, and if you want, you think, well, you said keep the chest open, but do you know what? Oh, there's a stretch there that I'm really enjoying. Then just take a moment with that. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling across. Drawing all the way back. And across again. And then all the way back to center. And this time when we do the stretch, we're going to walk our hands back and forward. So we're going to inhale a right hand lift. Exhale it forwards. And then just walk or even hover the hands all the way across. So you're really feeling that stretch, and then open on the other side. And then go back the way. You get a really lovely stretch all the way through the top body. And then opening. So that's why I mean organic movement, because my stretching that feels good for me might not feel so good for you. So water bottles, yes, that is a hazard there, Jenny. Not my risk assessment, that one. Everything now is in the risk assessment, except yoga wheels, Vicky, and water bottles. And then gently draw yourself back to center, roll the shoulders back, and allow yourself just that gentle opening across the chest. Take the hands gently behind you, thumbs forwards, and open across the chest. Now if you want to take further into this pose, fingers come forwards, you can lift the hips. Make sure you support the back of the neck if you're going to take a wee stretch here. And don't let that back of the neck hang back. You can admire the rafters. Lovely. All the way back down. And then we're going to walk the hands forward on the yoga mat. So we're going to gently walk fingertips or stretching hands out, even stretching into the pinkies. Now, really discover the pinkies, because you can really create a real deep stretch by just engaging those little fingers. The power in the fingers, there you are. And then walk all the way back. And we're going to come into tabletop. So we're just going to lift ourselves into tabletop. And we're going to draw ourselves into tabletop here. And just take some organic movement. So just the hips, we can round the hips. Gently find that creaky floorboard. That's great. I love that. Brilliant. I think that's just great. That's the history, Vicky. We know it's not your tummy. Allow yourself just that movement in the hips, and then come to stacked back. So come back to your tabletop position, so hands just underneath the shoulders. Make sure that it just, that's it. If you bring them in a wee bit, Lauren, that's it. Push away from the mat. Knees under your hip points so they can come a little wider if you need. Excellent. Really push away. And now soften the elbows. So you're bringing the elbows gently down, just a little. So you're in your tabletop position and you're softening the elbows just gently down. And here, take cat-cow now. Just take a rounding in and exhaling forward. Back and forwards. I'm actually going to use the extra yoga mat because it is easier. Corey's going to get a random video of me rolling the mat out backwards and forwards, and just really enjoy that stretching, and even bend those elbows even more and bring them lower down to the mat as you reach forward. And then come to stillness and draw the arms just softly bent. Tuck the toes, let's hover the knees as we come into hovering cat. Engage that core. Gaze is down towards the mat. Push through the fingertips. Don't need to bring the knees very high at all. And then draw the knees all the way down. You're going to take your right arm and you're going to open the right wing all the way up. Lifting, stretch through the body. We're going to come to thread the needle. So drawing that hand all the way through and under. Shoulder comes down to the mat. Take a bind if you wish. You can bring that top arm, just tuck into the kind of corner of the waist. Really breathe into this. And then we're actually going to bring our hands all the way forwards again. We're going to just push ourselves to actually a half camel. Lift all the way up to half camel. That right arm, swing that right arm all the way back up again. And then all the way down. Open the left arm, half camel. Sweep all the way forwards. Bring yourself back to that flat back position. Really push away from the mat with the fingers. Soft bend in the arms and just knit those lower ribs. So you're just drawing that core in a little. Sweep the left arm open now. Lift the left arm open. Stretching through that wing. And then thread the needle. Left arm all the way under. Taking that little bind if you wish. Just wrapping that arm. We're going to come all the way back to center now. Unraveling. That left arm is going to come back out as we lift up into half camel. And then draw left arm down, right arm up. Big stretches in yoga practice tonight. All the way back to that tabletop position. Now, give yourself a little bit of room at the mat, tabletop. Take the right leg to the back of the mat. And let yourself just stretch into that. All the way down the back of the leg. Lift that leg up. Really push through the heel, push away from the mat, engage the core, and then take the opposite arm out. So you're in a little balance here. So the arm is forwards. Goodness knows, Corey's going to get a video of my nose. It's not going to work that way. So we take the arm forwards, that's it. And the palms, so Lauren, if you take your hand forwards, if you're just about to shake somebody's hand, that's it. And then plug that arm just gently back into the kind of socket, as it were, so we're not overstretching. Bring the hands down to the mat, bring the foot down to the mat. Now the knee that is touching the mat, we're going to take that foot to the side edge of the mat. Draw yourself into a variation of side plank. That's it. Really stretching, pushing away from the mat, engage the core. Push it into the side of the foot that is reaching out. You can tuck the toes if you suffer from cramp at all. And that top arm is now going to slide down that extended leg as we lift up into gate pose all the way. Really inhale and exhale into this pose. All the way back to that side plank variation. That's it. Make sure, Jenny, the arm doesn't go too far back. So just note the other way. That's it. So you don't want to start pushing the shoulder joint back the way. Back all the way to gate pose. Now we're going to turn to the front of the mat. That knee that is engaged with the mat at the moment, you're going to lift that knee all the way up into low lunge. Stretching into a little runner's lunge here. Brilliant. Hoik is definitely a term. And then the knee comes all the way down. We're going to sweep the arms up. As we sweep the arms up, just lift the hip points a little bit so we're not sinking into this. Brilliant. Push into that front foot really kind of as if it's kind of stuck to the mat. And then arms are going to come behind us and we're going to come into a little half split here, monkey split. So we're rolling back on that foot, allowing yourself a little stretch in that foot. That's it. You can lift the toes up if you wish. Roll forwards, back, low lunge. Lift all the way high. Stretch through the pinkies. Bring the hands all the way to the mat. We're going to come to plank. So just draw yourself up into plank. I'm really not sure that camera is actually, goodness knows what she's going to get, never mind. It's a bit round, I think it's a bit close. Working into plank here. Really make sure those hips are not dipping. So just lift those hips a little bit, Jenny, that's it. Push back into the heels, everybody. Push away from the mat. We're going to vinyasa, so you can either shift forwards and come into chaturanga, or you can come to half chaturanga. So we shift the weight forwards, half chaturanga, knees drop, feet lift, elbows go to the back of the mat, and you draw yourself all the way down. Bhujangasana, cobra, or up dog. Exhale, come all the way to down dog, lifting the hips high. So allow yourself to really push the hips up, that's it. Lovely, Jenny. Bend the knees to allow yourself to just let those hips rise a little bit more. Make sure you're pushing into the fingertips there. Allow that head to just relax. If someone's grabbing you at the waist, so lifting those hips high. So Anna, so if you just bend your knees a little bit more and then try and push away with your hands. Aha, a little bit straight back. How does that feel? Yeah. Okay. Taking a breath here. And then step to the top of the mat, forward fold. And stay here just in forward fold. And just walk and pedal the ankles and feet all the way back and forwards. Really stretching through the back of the legs. You can lift the toes if you wish. Bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, flat back. Hands come above the knees or below the knees, or they might even stay on the mat. Depends where is comfy, but make sure you engage in that core. Elbows come back as if little grasshopper hands, And you're making sure that your neck is really, that's lovely, Amanda, is the kind of part of your spine. That's nice, Emma. You might even want to just tuck your chin very gently. That's it. Does that feel more comfy? That's it. So, Jenny, if you just tuck your chin just a little in, and that allows you that length. So what you're wanting is length through the base to the crown of the head. All fold, and then push through the feet, lift all the way back up. We're going to play with down dog, so at any point that your wrists are feeling a little bit kind of fractures, just come off them and just take a moment. I'm sorry, Corey, you're going to have to, this is not going to go on YouTube, I don't think, because Corey's going to go, oh my goodness, what's she doing? Sorry. She probably actually is going to be rolling on the floor laughing. Yeah. So inhale, lift, and we're going to come to tiptoes. Yeah, she's probably been looking up my nose for the last 10 minutes. Never mind. All the way, hands to the heart. Fold, and we're going to walk our hands, bend the knees, walk our hands towards down dog. Step to down dog. And really take a moment just to walk down dog out. So we're stretching everything today, warming everything up. We're going to take a wave here. So we're going to come from down dog and we're going to go to plank. So we're going to lift to the tiptoes. And then draw ourselves all the way over that beach ball and drop into plank. And then push from plank, lift the hips high, come onto those tiptoes and come back all the way into down dog. We're going to do that again, so lifting over and then drop into plank. All the way back to down dog. Anchor your left foot. We're going to come into tripod or three-legged dog. So lift into three-legged dog by just anchoring one foot and drawing the other up. If you wish to stretch a wee bit into this today, you can do, because what we're also going to do is now bend the knee, bring the foot to the glute and open a little. Stacked three-legged dog, and yeah, any point take a moment. Sit and take a child's pose. And then draw that knee, a little bit of a hip circle, so you can actually draw a big hip circle here. Big hip circle? Just a big circle or two. Oh dear. I have had no gin. There was no alcohol. I've had no caffeine for 2.5 days. That's your problem. That might be. Yeah, losing the words. And then draw that knee all the way up and into the body. And then we're going to step through to low lunge. Draw the knee down. We're going to come up into this low lunge. We're actually going to not worry too much about the front. We're actually going to come higher into this. So we're going to just stack that back hip over that back leg and roll the shoulders back. Take a moment with the wrists if you wish. Inhale, lift, crescent moon lunge. Really push into that front foot. Lovely. And lift out the hips here. So instead of sinking, lift up. So those hip points, and you'll feel yourself coming off the knee a little, but maybe engaging with the back leg. You might have your foot tucked at the back. Really push into that heel at the front. Really work those muscles. Bring the hands inside the foot and step that back knee. And we're going to just take the knee into the back of the arm and open up into a little side pose here, a little twist. So Ingrid, make sure that back arm is not going too far back. Sally, try not to bend the wrist. So if it's tricky bringing the arm up, what you need is a bit of height. You've got your block there, Sally. Use your block. Really push into those feet. So Lauren, maybe bring your hand to your hip. Might be easier at the moment. That top hand, the one that was in the air, bring it to your hip. That's it, Jenny. And Jenny, if you could just keep your hand in line with the arm. So I want to come over and move people. I'm not going to move you. Your hand just there. his hand in sort of straight. There. You're kind of bending your hand out like that. That's it. I know, I want to come around moving people. I know, I've left you there, it's fine, you're all okay. Told you it was a stretchy class. All the way back down to vinyasa. I did say it was stretchy. You can come into plank, you can draw your knees if you wish, come all the way to the mat. And come into a lovely low cobra. So draw the elbows really into the body. Push the hands into the yoga mat as if you are pushing that yoga mat away. And then open by drawing yourself up into a low cobra. Your arms should be really working. Don't need to come up very high. Real chest opener here. All the way back down. And we're going to just bring ourselves into child's pose. So sinking the hips to the heels. Arms can be forward or back. Legs can be wide or not. If you've got lower back that you want to look after, bring the knees together. Really breathe into the sides of the back. And then we're gently going to draw ourselves all the way back to down dog. Really slowly maneuvering into this. Walking the feet, padding. Don't forget that core. Think about zipping those ribs and really drawing the core in here. Not locking, but it's really supportive. Coming to stillness. And then this time anchor your opposite foot now. So if you anchored your left and you raise your right, we're going to anchor our right and raise our left. Three-legged dog or tripod. Bend the knee and allow yourself to just open the hip if you wish. Drawing some big circles with the knee. There you are, got it right this time. At least I didn't say drawing big circles with your toe. Oh, you could do actually. It's easier. It is actually, yeah, I'm just actually thinking that. And then we're going to draw that knee all the way into the core, lift all the way up into the core. And then come back into three-legged dog. And then draw that knee all the way through, and we're going to draw into low lunge on the other side. Take a moment here in runner's lunge. Maybe take the gaze forwards. Drop that back knee, and we're going to lift a little higher into this low lunge here. Sweep the hands. Inhale, lift. And as we do, plant the hands, and now you are going to have to do the same amount of time on this side. Step the knee up, and then open. So you're really using that back arm and that leg to push into. If you have a block, I was going to say, then you get that height. That is so much, yeah, that's nice. Well done, Amanda. And gaze can be up the way as well, and you can come out of this pose and just check it if you wish. Gaze is whether the neck is comfy. Taking a moment with your breath here. And then we're going to gently unravel, plant the hands, step to plank. Move up to down dog and meet at the front of the mat by either bending the knees, stepping, or jumping to the front of the mat. Lovely. And then draw yourself all the way up to mountain. And we're going to play here. So find a really nice mountain base. Roll the shoulders back. Sink into the left foot and draw yourself up into one-legged mountain. Hands can come to the heart. From here, we're going to push the foot all the way through to little balance, little airplane pose. Here you can use arms to the side if you wish. And then also then draw that knee all the way forwards again. Don't worry, you've got a wall here. It's absolutely fine. I'm sure I won't mind if you use a little bit of the wall there. Or if you don't want to touch something, then just gently back and forwards. So just work through the heel. Really think about that core. Your hands are up, Emma. You might want to turn them down, palms facing down. Does that feel comfier? That opens the shoulders a wee bit. No, like that way? That's fine. That's okay. It's all right.
That's what I'm used to.
It's okay.
I'll go front.
No, it's fine. Brilliant. And then when we bring our foot back up next time, we're going to come all the way back up. Really root that foot. Now we're going to take the ankle across the top of the knee. So she's wobbling. And then sink into that leg a little. And then just allow yourself. Now you can crouch here. You can take a little balance if you wish. If you're feeling really, really super stretchy, you can actually take a one-legged forward fold here if you wish. Wherever you are. Don't hurt anything. If you fall, doesn't matter, as long as you're not hurting yourself. And then just play with it and walk the feet out if you are here and you're practicing, all different places. Brilliant. Come back up to mountain and just shake the feet out. Now this is, you're going to love me, I'm going to bring this, I haven't got it written in my script to talk, but I like it. It's a bit Kundalini yoga. You might have done this with me before. In fact, I'm sure most of you have. We're just going to take our arms, you're going to look really silly, and you're going to do a little swing. Just allow the body. I usually do this with quite a deep breath, but clearly you might not. But back and forwards, and then start to slow down. It's a really nice way of just releasing energy at the end of the day, actually. See the kids doing this and you're like, oh. And then just slow it down and just allow the body just to shake out. And we're going to play on the other side, so come to mountain. And also don't forget that core, so just that drawing of core, and that allows you to have lovely length here. So really then feel the feet really kind of grounding into the mat and my heels. That lift up the front, grounding into the back. And imagine, I guess, that the inner arches, you've got like strings you're pulling, and that allows you to pull the inner thighs up as well. So we then start to engage pelvic floor. We're not locking, but it's just gentle. And then we're going to wait onto our right foot and just play with that one-legged mountain pose again. Finding your drishti, and then gently finding that balance. Think about that core. If you wobble, it's absolutely fine. Back and forwards. The heel, just pushing through the heel. Sometimes you might find it softer to bend the standing leg. You can try it. Backwards and forwards. Having a play here, thinking about that real midline, so like that pendulum swinging, that glide. And if you're wobbling, it doesn't matter at all. And then slowly coming back, so wherever you are, slowly drawing yourself back. And then draw yourself, one-legged mountain, hands to the heart. And start to allow yourself to sink into a one-legged little pose here. Might even come down a little lower. Might even drop the hands. Play. What shapes can you make? That's lovely, Emma. That's really nice. Well done, Emma. Good. And wherever you are, pushing back up. Remember that resistance we had at the beginning, so as if you're sticking through treacle. All the way back up. And then gently draw yourself into mountain. Still got the watch I can't see, right. I know, hasn't improved since last week. Right, we're going to play with a flow. Again, watching wrists. So, and I'm probably going to kick something here, but we'll be fine. So we're going to play with down dog, wild thing, and into warrior two and triangles. It's a little transition, so if you get confused with it, don't worry. Just kind of play and just feel. Because actually the transitions, the creative flow that we discover on that is often because we go, oh, I did that wrong, but oh, look what I can do. So it's going between poses. It's quite nice. It's good fun. So inhale gently, lift. Exhale, hands to the heart, fold. Take a moment here. You might even want to come to gorilla pose here. So by bringing the hands gently under the toes, bending the knees a little, you get a lovely big, deep stretch in the upper body. Might not be lovely for you, it might be Marmite, so wherever you are. Plant the hands, we're going to step to plank, moving through all the way to down dog. Anchor the left foot, lift the right into tripod, three-legged dog. Now that right leg is going to step behind you and it's going to come slightly off the mat and lift that right hand up into a little wild thing. Don't worry if you've not done it before and you're just going, okay, so those who are in wild thing continue. It's fine. And then you can just stay there, it's alright. So Anna, I'm lifting that leg up, stepping it behind me. You might just get there. If you're in wild thing and you want to come back, you're not allowed. Right, that right foot, folks, is going to step all the way to the top of the mat. Lift through to the top of the mat. Come to warrior two stance. We'll do this again in a minute. Lift up to warrior two. I did say stretchy practice. Wonderful. And now the wrong way again. Honestly, it's like a comedy show, I tell you. It's all on camera tonight. I'm going to start drinking coffee.
You think I have it with all of us? Just sorry.
Yeah. Oh, right, push through that front foot. We're going to lift so that we're really pushing into the feet. Push into those heels. Lovely. Excellent. And we're going to come into triangle. So we want to keep that length in our ribs and our torso. So you can even come across with hands on the hip, or you can come down. But wherever you are, hand on a block, behind the foot if you wish, hand on the shin. Bring yourself some height into this. Grand. I keep wanting to look, Emma, and adjust something, but that's just lovely. So that's grand. Brilliant, Anna. Lovely, Jenny. Bring a little bit of height, Lauren, into that leg. That's it. And maybe even open those ribs so that shoulder then comes back. So you're opening to the side. Oh wow, that just changed. Well done, Lauren. Excellent. Take a nice deep, big breath here. And then push through the feet, come all the way back up. Take the hands to the hips. We're going to just step that back foot just forwards a little. Turn to the front. We're now in a little pyramid here. Interlace the fingers behind the back and draw the fingers gently down. Lovely. Don't arch the chest too much. We're wanting the fingers to go down and open across the shoulders. Lovely. Gaze forwards. Don't lock that front knee and push into the heels. And we'll only go halfway. We're going to inhale and then forward fold just a little. Just to halfway. Take a moment here. And then allow the hands just to gently, if they can, come towards mat. If you've got blocks, this is a really nice place to put 2 blocks. and then turn that back foot. Now we're going to come to an L-shaped pose. We're going to come up onto the front foot, lift that back leg into L shape, or lower if the hips are not allowing. Now we're in L shape, you know where we might just be going. Now you can stay here, or if you have the practice, keep the left hand on the mat at the front, just out to the side as a little stabilizer towards the front, and then you might open up to the side in half moon. Now if you've not done half moon before, it's absolutely fine. Jenny, you probably benefit from a wee block. Have you got a block? No. No. Okay, so cupcake your fingers. So you bring your fingers up a little, the ones that are leaning. That's it. Gives you a wee bit of height. Maybe just. I was going to say maybe just bring that arm down because it's looking a little uncomfy. The top arm. Bring. Yeah. So I'm going to show you. Okay. So if you've got a half moon practice and just playing, that's fine. If you want to watch this, I'm just going to show you how to get into half moon, or if you want to just keep playing, play. What's the best way? Possibly this way actually. Sorry, Corrie. She's with us. So if I had a block, I'd put the block just about here. That brings that height up. I haven't to hand, so I'm going to put my hand just out to the right hand side. This pose starts facing forwards. That allows me to draw up. And that foot at the back is still pointing down. Okay? So this is where I then need to open to the side. And I've started on my dodgy ankle, so this will be interesting. So I'm now going to open to the side. And as I open to the side, I'm opening those ribs to the side. And then I'm opening my foot to the side and my arms to the side. So I'm clamshelling, as it were. So as I come forwards, so have a play with that. And it's much, much, much easier with a block at the front because it gives you that height. Yeah, it does. And so you've got the two blocks, Anna, that you put on your mat, and you just put your hand on the side of them.
I'm going to need to start with that tendon damage, so it's like too much pressure on it.
That's fine. No problem. And so, we haven't swapped sides yet, cause but it's fine, because we're just about to go through the little. That's okay if you want to, do. Have a go on both sides, good chance. Yeah. It's a good chance to have a go. And this is a really nice one for practicing against a wall. Are you okay, Anna?
Yeah, it's just
take a seat and just take a little butterfly and take a massage. And that's what I mean. Just class is really the way I like to develop my class is I like people, if they feel they need to take a break. We're in a place where we can do. So
that's good.
That's fine. Don't like yoga robots.
I was just going to say that. No yoga robots.
No yoga robots. How many years have said that? No yoga robots. So we're going to come all the way back. And if you want to still take a break, we're going to come on to the other side. So it's actually.
Just my right foot.
Oh, I'm with you on that because I've snapped 3 ligaments and damaged the tendon, and that's why I say it wobbles.
Yeah.
Not nice.
Wing cramps up. So.
Oh, right, now if I turn this way, I can't see my notes. It's fine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to the heart. Forward fold. And take a moment here just to stretch the legs out. As we do step to plank, moving through to down dogs, you can really bring organic movement into this, stretching through the body. Now we planted the left foot last time and then the right foot came up. So we're going to plant the right foot this time and draw the left foot into three-legged dog. Now that's where that left foot's now going to step behind us, and the left arm is going to come up into side plank variation or a wild thing, wherever you are. Make the shape suit you. And then we're going to spiral back towards the mat. The left foot's now going to step all the way up to the top of the mat, and the back foot's going to step into warrior position, and we're going to rise up into warrior two. Sinking into that front knee. If you wish, make sure you can see your toes. How are you feeling with that, Amanda?
It's not right, it's awkward. I don't know what's going on there.
Right, I'm going to just destruct warrior two a wee bit. So it does mean that, so our warrior two is, and it helps everybody, and if you want to just practice as well, you can do. Think of your train track. So you've got your centre line here. The foot goes just to one side and we step back. Okay, so markings on the mat really help. Now, you can choose to have heel to instep, like Emma's doing, or you can choose to give yourself more space. Traditionally, warrior two is heel to instep, okay? But that might not be suitable for your hips. The reason for that is the movement. I practice both. Now, what we need to do is think of the width of your stance. So if you look at your hands, your wrists, and you drop kind of a plumb line down to your ankles, that's pretty much where that warrior two sits. Unless you've got lower back issue, it might be a bit narrower. Okay. Now we're going to think about our legs. So we're going to push into the heels. What we now want to do is start to engage that calf muscle, and we want to see if we can sink that knee a little, but we still want to not have that knee go over the toes. So we don't want forwards, but we want a really firm base. Now our pelvis is going to tuck under. We're going to lengthen that tailbone, and I want you to feel that difference. Take your hands actually and feel that difference, lengthening the tailbone, tucking it under, and use that core to just feel that real strength all the way through from the crown of the head, or base of the spine to crown of the head. And you kind of feel that. The hip points here should be even. So we know that if we're tilting forwards, that back hip is going to lift a little, and you'll feel a crunch in your waist at the front. So tilt back and get them even. Now we've got this lovely line. I want you to relax your shoulders. Really think about pushing into the heels and then the whole of the foot. Now we can float arms and lift arms. Pinkies gently go back, but our shoulder blades go down. So scapulas start to kind of just gently tuck in towards each other. And then the gaze comes across the front of the hand. Does that feel any better, Amanda?
Yeah, it does. It's so squinty, I don't know what's going on.
It's okay, it doesn't matter. And that gives us a really nice position with a really open rib cage. To keep that open rib cage, to come into Trikonasana, so we can always bring that hand down, push through that front leg, but we don't lock the knee. By pushing into the heel and really engaging that calf muscle, we're not going to lock that knee. And then allow yourself to come into Trikonasana. And you're floating. So that's it. So Lauren, take your arms slightly towards the fire escape, just there, in front of you. Aha. Now you're more lined up. Jenny, the same for yourself as well. Take your hand forwards, little. That's it. Lovely, Anna. And then we're going to just push through the feet, lift all the way back up. Hands can come to the hips gently, and step that back foot just gently up. Turn now towards the front of the mat. Pyramid becomes a narrower stance. Because we're turned towards the front of our mat, then we don't need as much space on our hips. And that allows us again, that little narrow stance, to come into pyramid, interlace the fingers, lift through the body, and then push into the heel as we come forwards on an exhale. And you might get quite a hamstring stretch here, you might not, depends. You got that? And then gently release the hands. And again, if you have two blocks either side of this front foot, that's a really nice place to be. Or you might be able to come down to the mat. And this is where we can come to half moon on the other side. So if it's available to you, you can come to that L-shaped little balance, and you might just be here and that's working really well for you. Or you might turn out into half moon. Far less wobblier on the other side for me. Wherever you are, just working through that pose. You're right there, Vicky.
I'm struggling to strengthen my legs.
That's okay, but it's building strength at the same time. And then from half moon, turn that foot back in and draw yourself all the way to the top of the mat to forward fold. Push through the feet, lift all the way up, bring yourself up to standing. Now we're going to have a play. Now, it used to be a favourite pose of mine, but I'm a little bit stiff these days, so I can't straighten my leg in it at the moment, but I'll get there. Bird of Paradise. Bird of Paradise is quite an advanced yoga pose, but there's stages, and most of you have already done this in my class with the bind. So most of you have already come to a little bind here and played in that bind, okay? So we're going to play in a slightly different bind, and if you get your left and right muddled, it doesn't matter because we're having a play. What we're going to do, we're going to bring the feet. There's a couple of ways of getting into Bird of Paradise. There's a way from basically Trikonasana, where we come into Trikonasana, we come into that bind, and then we step the foot up. But I always find that quite like, oh, that's a big step, okay? And it's quite tricky. So this is a different way of getting into it. So you come here and we bend the knees. And then the side that we're going to bind, we're going to lift. So I'm going to try my left side first because my right foot's not brilliant at the moment. So I'm going to, whatever side, I'm going to lift my left foot. The left hand is going to come in underneath, and my top hand is going to come round back into the small of my back. And if you can catch, I'm going to catch the forefingers. So it's not elegant, but I'm going to come this way and just show you that I've got myself into this little bind here. Now that's the beginning of it. Are you managing, Vicky, or just kind of having
my fingers, but I was just going to see what
yeah.
you're doing next.
Yeah, so I was going to say sometimes a strap is absolutely fine as well. Now, when I'm here, I now start to lift that leg into your little Bird of Paradise. You can do it. You can. Now, nobody hurt their shoulder, so I'll show you that again. Look, you're not the one on camera, Vicky, but I could easily turn it that way and Corey could have a right field show. So, it needs a lot of concentration.
No, I can just...
That's okay. So you have to walk your foot gently in and then allow your weight, the tiptoe, to come. And then, now the next stage is to start to open up and then open the leg. I'm not very good at that because I haven't got the shoulder. So Ingrid,
the outside.
yes, so, okay, I'll do it this way. I'll do it this way so you can see. Hop, Jenny.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to work with my left leg here. So bend my knees, lift the heel.
Yeah.
Left arm is coming under. right arm comes over, I step my right foot, and even if I'm just here, then I can push up. But don't hurt shoulders, and this is what I mean. This is what I mean by the beginning. It might just be the bind, play with bind, but you're working really hard, so just be careful. There's a stretch, give you a bit of a bind and a stretch there. Brilliant. How's it doing, Emma?
Alright, but I can't stand up straight and get my legs straight.
Yeah, you have to do a really strong vinyasa practice to get your body really warm. Okay, so the only time that I've done this is after an hour and a half of strong vinyasa and then straighten my leg, because I did a hip practice before.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it, we're just doing in baby steps. But have you done this pose before?
Once, years and years ago.
And probably from the Trikonasana where you step and you hoik into it. It's interesting. Try it on the other side. You might find one side. And if you want to stretch up, Jenny, and then just do some lovely stretches as well. You can, just to open the body.
I could see the other side. I was going in.
Oh my goodness, Ingrid.
Well done.
And the idea now is when you start to stand up, you try and start to open the body. So you could straighten your leg here, but that's not the pose because you're actually not strong here. So you then start to open the body up. And that's when you start to open. Bird of Paradise then opens. But what I was saying to Emma, the only time I've ever actually achieved the full, well done, Lauren. The only time I've ever achieved the whole pose is when I've done a really strong vinyasa float class and I was boiling hot and I was really bendy, and so that's what I'm saying. It's an advanced yoga pose, but the steps to it are achievable, and it's a bind. It's quite fun. So try the other side, because you did a lot on one side. So try the other side if you wish, and you might find that you can step up.
Like that straight leg.
It's fun.
The other side's not happening.
No.
It's just, I can't even imagine it.
So that shows us that we need to work with our body, Jenny, to, when we're working in our yoga practice, if we know our left side's quite stiff, then you just maybe
So does this mean the left side's weaker because it can't lift up the right leg? Is that what's happening?
no, it might just be that you're like, if you've been writing all day, you've been sat slightly, or you're pulling something with your right hand. I don't know, be careful, Anna.
Right arm round your right buttock.
So-
Right arm around right buttock.
So I've wrapped you all in knots, that's absolutely fine, got plenty of time to unwind. Good. So what I want you to do now is take a nice big stance as wide as your yoga mat, and inhale, lift all the way up high. Hands just gently, high prayer. If you wish, you can lift a little higher, and then hands all the way to the heart. You're going to take a wide fold here just across the mat, and just bring your body and walk your hands gently across to one side and then the other. Again, bringing organic movement to this. Maybe even allowing the legs to bend back and forwards. And then walk the hands forwards to the front of the mat and step the feet back into plank. And then just walk back and forwards on the toes here, maybe just bending. So keep movement, even bringing the knees into the core, back and forwards. And then draw the knees all the way down to the mat, stacked back position. And we're going to come back to those hip circles. So we're gently going to draw circles with the hips. Round, and again pausing if you need, even drawing a little bit of a cat-cow in here. reversing that circle. Coming all the way back to that stack back position and just gently coming to a little cat-cow. And you might just want to just, again, bring a little bit of movement into this. Or just take a cat-cow back and forwards. And then slowly take the feet to one side, allow yourself to come all the way down to the mat. And we're going to just draw one leg in and draw one leg out. A little bit of a half straddle pose here. And take the hands gently behind you, just take a little stretch. We're just taking a stretch to the body, we're not folding. Bring the other leg in, other leg out. Take another little stretch here. You can flex the foot, or you can draw the toes towards you. And then draw yourself all the way forwards. We're going to come to Dandasana. Draw the feet out in front of you. We're going to step the right leg over the left leg so it comes to the outside of the knee. If it's available to you, sweep the left foot all the way back into a little twist. And take some time here so you can twist away from the knee. You can twist towards the knee. Maybe a flow. You might want to take hands across to one side. And that might feel really good for you. Whatever feels comfy and gives you a little bit of a stretch. Unraveling Dandasana. Zip the legs together, toes towards you, tuck the pelvis gently under, Dandasana. And we come to the opposite side, so left leg across, right leg behind. And just enjoy this as well. You can walk the hands, you can twist, just watch, you're not going to pull anything, overstretching. Or just come to stillness. And then stretching all the way back out. And draw yourself so you've got plenty of room to come down to the mat. And allow yourself just to roll down. And then take a moment here. So with the knees bent. Allow the back to settle. And then draw the knee back and forwards, so your little supine twist back and forwards here. Drawing the knees all the way into the body, allowing the hands just to gently support the knees. You might want to just a little roll or rock and roll back and forward, side to side, just on the lower spine. And then allow the feet just to gently come to the mat, knees bent. And we're going to take a little relaxation, in fact an extended relaxation. So if you have socks, blanket, hoodie, don't let yourself start to get cold. Take a moment to get comfy. Time, isn't it, of year where you can start to get all the nice blankets out. And not that I didn't need an excuse, but just going to work you through a very simple Yoga Nidra practice. Yoga Nidra is deep relaxation. Where we start to come from Shavasana into a rotation of consciousness. So just take a moment to adjust everything. In Yoga Nidra, we try and avoid physical movement. So settling your shoulders, if the lower back is just tweaking a wee bit, you can bend the knees and allow the feet just to come to the edge of the mat and the knees to support each other. And then take a deep breath, breathing in and breathing out. And through the practice, we're going to develop a feeling of deep relaxation. Relaxation, but not sleep. So we remain awake during the practice. So concentrate on that feeling of complete stillness. Awareness of the body from the top of the head to the tip of the toes. And the practice of Yoga Nidra has begun. Taking a moment to maybe make a simple resolve. And beginning a rotation of consciousness. Stay alert with the body, but relax the muscles. And become aware of the right hand, the thumb, the fingers, the palm of the hand, the back of the hand, the wrist, the elbow, the upper arm and shoulder. And bring your awareness to the left hand, the thumb, the fingers, the back of the hand, the lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder. Awareness to your right foot, the toes, the heel, the sole, the left foot, the toes, the heel, the sole. Now to the back. Become aware of the right shoulder, shoulder blade, the left shoulder, the left shoulder blade, the top of the head, the forehead. Allow the space between the eyebrows to soften, the eyelids to soften, the jaw to soften. Become aware of your right side, the left side, and then the whole of the back, the whole of the head. And the whole of the body supported by the earth, the yoga mat. And then becoming aware of your breath, the flow in and out of the lungs. And keep the breath natural. Aware of the navel rising and falling slightly. Aware of the count of your breath. Starting to count the breaths backwards. Maybe from 20, 19, rising and falling. Keep the counting. And then allow the numbers to melt away, just left with the rise and fall. And then take a moment just to visualize a colour deep and bright, and allow the colour just to start to fade away. And maybe you made a resolve. Maybe repeat that resolve, or just take a moment with the breath, drawing your mind away from the yoga mat, becoming aware of your surroundings, lying relaxed on the floor, breathing quietly. And just take a moment to just keep the eyes closed. Maybe taking some time to gently move the fingers, gently moving the toes. And the practice of Yoga Nidra is complete. And then very slowly, when you're ready, turning onto your side and taking the knees into the chest. And pausing before gently, very slowly, allowing yourself to bring yourself to seated. Bringing the fingertips together, the heels of the hand together. Inhaling, exhaling.